No, I agree with that exactly, because right now, this is the issue you are presenting is basically an issue of justice, love, and of the gospel, and that's not something you turn back.
We have time for just a few more questions. Neela.
I'd like to follow up on what Barbara asked, and to you, Bishop Bruno, if I could, based on your words, and that is, I'm sorry, Neela Banerjee with the New York Times. And that is that how is the communique then different from this desire among theological conservatives that you do in this course? It asks you to give guarantees, not to further consecrate only gay, lesbian, partner people as bishops. It asks you to give some kind of guarantee that the authorizing blessing of same-sex unions will stop. So how does the communique differ from the reversal that Barbara's talking about? I mean, what is it that you see that we don't see? Because it sounds like it's one and the same.
Neela, what you've asked of me is will we continue the process of General Convention where we in BO33 made specific statements, and CO51 3 years before made specific statements about blessing of unions. The fact of life is we have never authorized a same-sex blessing ever in our church. Authorization of that would require 2 readings of a constitutional resolution.
But it's authorized on the
diocesan
diocesan
level.
It happens on the diocesan level, you know that.
It does not happen in my diocese with my permission.
It happens elsewhere. But that's my point, is that, we're getting lost in the language of General Convention. I mean, to clarify, what I'm talking about is that, is that there is blessings of same-sex unions happen with the permission or the don't ask, don't tell approach of bishops in various dioceses in this country, maybe not yours, but in others, in neighboring dioceses, in California, for example. So they're asking, the Dar es Salaam communique asked to stop that. So I'd like to go back to my original question. How is the questions in the communique different from what, in fact, conservatives want?
I've answered it to the best of my ability, Neela. I can't understand that there is a difference. I believe that the communique, for me to answer those questions here and now at this place, would be to violate what we've said we won't do until the writing of this communique comes out from us.
I think I would only want to add that while that may seem to in the minds of some as something of a circular argument, I mean, I think that what the bishops are prepared to say still has to be within the boundaries of what we understand the position of our church to be. And I think the bishops are really quite serious about that. We're a synodical church that's Episcopally led. And so we've got some constraints upon our particular way of doing business. However, take for example the request of the primates with respect to the blessing of same-sex unions. What in fact can we say? And those are the very points upon which the bishops are now deliberating. What are the particular points that we believe are within our ability to declare, both with the in conjunction with the General Convention, and what kind of interpretation can we give to the convention's position, and how can that answer very specifically and clearly the request of the primates. Now, that may seem overly nuanced to some, but the fact of the matter is, it is precisely the work that is before us.
I would like to add to that the Windsor reports also asks the whole Anglican Communion to continue the dialogue and to continue the study towards a better understanding of human sexuality, including the nature of homosexuality and its place in the life of the church.
We have time for, if the bishops would like to make any kind of final statement. Bishop Bruno, would you like to?
Be patient and wait.
I would just like to say that I am most encouraged by the work that we've done here in New Orleans. I was very gratified by the visit of the Archbishop and our distinguished guests from the Joint Standing Committee and the Anglican Consultative Council. Our conversations with them have been frank, but I believe very productive. And then we had a marvelous break for a couple of days to work here in New Orleans, which gave people time to think and to pray and to discern and talk with one another. And then we've come back today and I think done a very good day's work. And I believe it will pay fruits as we go into tomorrow, and by sometime tomorrow, midday or early afternoon, I believe we will have a statement. And my own feeling, speaking only for myself, but my own feeling is that the statement will be shaped in such a way that it will be well received by the leaders of the Anglican Communion, and it will also be well received by the majority of members of the Episcopal Church.
I will only add that this is another example of the quality of the Episcopal Church in the way we deal with things in an open, transparent, and in a democratic way in which all voices have a place and nobody's told to shut down, and we want to hear and respect all voices and then deal with those that are the voice of the consensus, of the voice of the majority of the bishops and also of the whole church through General Convention.
Bishop Bruno.
I would suggest that the most important thing is that no one walks away from this table, that we all listen to one another and attempt to hear one another. For when we shut the door on relationship, we shut the door on our lives and the abundance of God in our lives.
Thank you.
What do you think the chances are of no one walking away from the
We are
table?
done.
She said,
Thank you.
we're done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mother Neva.
Bishop Bruno?
Yes.
Good luck trying to play the touch.
From all saints to Beverly Hills that participated yesterday in the deliverance ceremony.
I don't know what you're talking about. Was there one?
Yes, Robert Stanley and Carl Marion celebrated their union yesterday at All Saints Episcopal Church with the Reverend Gabriel Ferrer and Maria Anschwitz and Episcopal participated.
Well, I'll have to look into that.
That wasn't with their permission.
No, sir. First I heard of it.
The sound of it,
It was in the New York Times. It was in the New York
I
Times.
didn't have to read the Times.
Are you going to participate in?